Hey there, my name is Kyle Demian, and in this episode, we're going to talk about a specific retirement scenario where we're going to have John and Nancy here who have a retirement income gap of $900 monthly. And we're going to talk about some solutions to possibly solve this for them. So, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kyle. I'm with the Wealth Academy, and we help you retire better. So, we have John and Nancy here from Ohio, both age 65 and just retired. John was a mail carrier and Nancy was a school secretary. And for this retirement scenario, they have about $4,500 a month of expenses. So they sat down, did their budget, and realized, hey, when we go to retire, we need to have income coming in of at least $4,500 a month to sustain our lifestyle and to be able to retire, right? So if you have your expenses, let's figure out what your income is going to look like. Now, what sources do you have for guaranteed income is always the first question that you should ask when it gets to talking about and planning and preparing for retirement. And for most Americans, they either have one or maybe two options of guaranteed coverage for their retirement, guaranteed income for the retirement, I should say. And for most people, that is Social Security and or a pension, if you're lucky enough to get a pension. Now, John was a federal employee. He worked for, he was a mail carrier, let's say, right? We work a lot with federal employees and we help them a lot with understanding their benefit. So this is a world we're very familiar with. And so let's say they start calculating up their income with John's pension. Let's say he gets about $1,000 a month from that. John's Social Security gets him another $1,500 a month. And let's say that Nancy's Social Security gets them another $1,100 a month. So their total income comes out to $3,600 monthly. But you guys see the problem here? Their expenses are $4,500 a month, right? So let's establish the fact that they have this retirement income gap here. Now, keep in mind, we're just talking about from the guaranteed sources of income. If you have guaranteed expenses, you should want to have guaranteed income to cover those guaranteed expenses. Now, here is retirement income gaps are best covered by guaranteed income sources. So cover your guaranteed expenses every month with guaranteed income. Now, here's a common myth. Other than your guaranteed income sources, most people think that they can withdraw from their 401k, their TSP, their IRA, and then that they'll be fine doing that to cover that retirement income gap. What I would say to that is that you could. Sure, you could do that, but it's not guaranteed. There are no guarantees in 401ks. There are no guarantees in TSPs or IRAs, which leads to risk. And retirement simply should be about removing risks off the table so that you can truly be retired and worry-free, right? So my YouTube channel is going to start covering how to overcome all the risks of retirement. So make sure that you're subscribed below. If you're not subscribed yet, just go ahead and click the subscribe button below. Doesn't cost you anything. There is no cost to it, but it means the world to me and it shows your support and helps grow my business, my channel, my education of helping people retire better. So here's my personal thoughts. Why take the risk when you don't need to? Right? Why take the risk of withdrawing income from your TSP, your 401k, your IRAs when you don't need to? And here's what I mean about that. Have you ever heard of the lost decade? Now, this screenshot here is going to come from our financial forecaster, which we help all of our clients with. We take all of our clients through this financial forecaster, which is our proprietary program that's able to calculate your estimated or projected income down to like the nearest dollar. So we factor in Social Security. We factor in your pension. We factor in your other investments and assets that you can take income from, right? But aside from the forecaster, one of the aspects of the forecaster is that we can actually go back in time and see what your money would have looked like in different scenarios dating back to maybe, let's say, 2000. Now, the year 2000 is really important. Number one, it was the turn of the century, right? So I could only imagine people that were in their 60s in 1998, 1999, as they're getting closer to 2000, I would venture to say that the year 2000 was a really big year for retirement. Just knowing how people think, what would I do if I was in their situation? I would say that, hey, when the year 2000 comes, I'm going to retire. I'm going to call it quits. We're entering a new century, right? Let's retire and let's enjoy retirement. Let's say that you did that and you retired with about $333,000 in your assets, whether that is your 401k or other account like that, right? And let's see what the market did if you retired in the year 2000. Now, we're not going to include any withdrawals or any income in this scenario, in this example. And we're also not going to show you investing or putting any more money into this account, right? If you're retired, typically that's when you're investing and you're, saving for retirement stops too. And typically you enter into like drawdown mode. But here's the problem with staying in the market and some of the risks that can come with that. So this screenshot, this graph right here shows the S&P 500 historical returns per year. So in 2000, the S&P 500 was down 10%. 2001, it was down 13%. 2002, down 23%, and so on. So if you started with $333,000, we look down here at the balance. After just 1 year, your $333,000 would be down to $299. After 2 years, in 2001, you're starting to feel the effects of the 2001 dot-com bubble crash, as it's called. 2001, the market's down another 13%. 2002, market's down another 23%. 3 years into retirement, without you taking out any income, if you were fully invested into the S&P 500, which, by the way, is the top 503 companies in the United States, just 3 years into retirement, you are at, let's call it $200,000. You have 1/3 less than what you started off with. If you started off with 333,000, right? And we still haven't even taken income yet. Once again, this is one of the risks. This is why you got to be careful when you enter retirement. But devil's advocate would say, well, hey, the market did well the next few years, right? And yes, it did. Market in 2003 comes back 26% return. 2004, a 9% return. 2005, a 3%. 2006, 13%. 2007, another 3% return. And let's look at the balance at the end of 2007. Very, very interesting how you are almost finally back to the point of that $333,000 that you started off with. You see that there? But what happened in 2008? Ouch. Wow, nearly a 40% market decline. So you almost got to break even, but now you take another 40% step backwards. You're down to 204,000. Market does well in 2009. Market does well in 2010. Market stays flat in 2011. Market does well in 2012. But if you look at this, still look at this balance. You still are only at $323,000 in this account. And it's not finally until 2013 and another 30% return year where you finally break even. You finally get over that barrier of that initial $333,000 that you started off with. This is what's called the lost decade. Matter of fact, it's actually the lost 12 years of retirement, where if you would have retired in the year 2000 with X amount of dollars, it doesn't matter what this dollar amount is, whether it's 33,000, 3 million, if your money was fully invested in the S&P 500 and you rode the ups and downs of the market, it would have taken you 13 years to get back to that initial point where you were at when you entered retirement. Okay, here's the problem. Markets fluctuate. And when you're withdrawing income from your 401k, your TSP, your IRA, you're also depleting the same pool of money that you need to grow. Right. In another video, I'll cover some of these downsides and why this is such a huge problem. It's called the double drawdown. But imagine if you're losing money in the markets and you're also taking out your 4% for the safe withdrawal rate. Right. You are depleting the money. That's also losing money in the market. And then guess what? Next year, when next year rolls around, if you need that account to do well, you're already going to be taking more money out of it. You need it to grow almost exponentially to be able to catch back up. So why gamble with your retirement? One of the only retirement strategies out there that can provide guaranteed income for life is what's called a fixed indexed annuity. Annuities in general just mean, by definition, a stream of income in retirement, a stream of income in general. I guess it doesn't need to be in retirement. Matter of fact, pensions are forms of an annuity, right? So there's multiple different types of annuities out there. So whether you've heard about the good types of annuities or the bad types of annuities, we're specifically talking about the types of annuities that are geared for guaranteed income in retirement. Now, these annuities are backed by highly rated insurance companies, offering a unique combination of safety, growth potential, and lastly, predictable income. Unlike traditional accounts that rely solely upon market performance, fixed index annuities protect your principal from market losses while also allowing you to participate in market gains, typically up to a cap. So why gamble with your retirement? Think of it as creating your own personal pension, if you want, right? Designed to close the income gaps and to cover your essential expenses. With guaranteed income from a fixed index annuity, retirees can avoid the stress of market fluctuations and focus on enjoying the retirement that they've worked so hard to achieve. And it's only about repositioning your money to give you certainty, security, and simplicity when it matters most. Retirement should be worry-free. That especially should mean worry-free when it comes to your money. Not just worry-free that you don't have to work anymore, right? You want your money to also be worry-free. Now, this video is not intended to be financial, legal, tax, or investment advice. This is just simply education and my thoughts and opinions on retirement. But if this resonated with you, if this is something that may make sense for you, where you would want some guaranteed income that gets you out of the market and can relieve maybe some of your worries or anxiety about what the market's going to do now that you're retired, now that you've worked so hard to build up and accumulate this nest egg, send me a message or let's connect. Here on YouTube might not be the best place to connect, but if you guys want to schedule a call to learn more, I think we'll be able to put that link below. So make sure to check that out, or just make sure to subscribe and watch some of my other YouTube videos to learn more about retirement, so that you're prepared, you're educated, and that your retirement can also be risk-free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.